G'day guys, Big V Podcast here. We are talking about our Youth League 2 men at the moment. We're going to go through the ladders with Terrell and Watson. Terrell first with Whittlesea sitting on first. Mark, why don't you tell me about him?
Yeah, so first place, sitting pretty. Whittlesea 7-2 record. They've currently on a five-game winning streak. They are looking incredibly impressive at this level. It's Ethan Bateman who's been huge. He's just a strong body. He's dominating the paint, and people don't have an answer. The good thing is for them is they're 5-0 as when they're on the road. So really good way to set yourself up for if you have to have that crossover game during finals.
Yeah, absolutely. Second place, we have Sunbury sitting with a very comfortable 7-2 record. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, so they're building a streak at the moment. They are very good defensively, one of the best in the league at the moment. Owen Stevens has been great. He's consistent across the board at the moment. Continue to look out for him. Salvatore, I'm hoping I'm saying him right, is averaging a double-double as well, being very consistent for this group.
Yeah, third place we've got Surf Coast with an 8-3 record, and what a great first year in the league for them, Ted. They've been great. So Jesse Umbega has been the absolute shining light. He's got MVP potential written all over him. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, and they've only actually had 3 home games so far. So they're going to have a whole lot more less travel on the back end of the season, which I'll be thrilled about.
Fourth place, we have Albury sitting with that 7-3 record. 4 of their last 5 games have been wins. Quite a mixed schedule of home and away for them. It's been pretty balanced. So big travels to the coastlines, where also some of them are other games coming back home. Now Brock Thompson has been very strong for them. Their leading scorer, very, very consistent player.
Yeah, fifth place we got Wallen with a 5-4 record, and they're 3-0 at home. Now I expect this team to start to push towards that top 4 as they get more home games. Now their show court's been resurfaced and it looks schmicko, Ted. They've got multiple scoring options, and they've got a fairly busy schedule on the back end of the year. But I think that's going to lead to a lot of wins for them.
Bellarine now sitting in 6th place with a 5-6 record. They've done it pretty well on the road. They're 4-3, so not too bad considering the talent here in Youth League 2. They did break a 3-game losing streak over the weekend, so looking to find some form as we move forward into the thick of the season. Now they do have 4 players that are sitting in double figures, making it quite hard to be able to scout and hold this team to a low number.
Yeah, in 7th place in this conference we've got Melton with 3-9 record. They've only won 1 of their last 5 now. And a lot of that reason is they're struggling to defend. They cannot slow other teams down at the moment, and that's causing them to be out of games quicker than they'd like to be. So they probably need to turn that around in the back end of the year so they can try and edge towards that top 4.
Yeah, we got Northeast now sitting with the 0-9 record, 8th place in the Terrell Conference, yet to get that win. They are struggling to score in sort of all aspects of the game, transition and in the half. They need to generate stops or else they cannot play in transition. They have to play a lot of walk-up basketball. Now, they will travel a little bit more in the second half, just playing the 9 games in the 8 rounds. Jesse King, at the moment, being the only real player who's averaging in those double figures. So look for him to sort of throw these guys on his shoulders.
Yeah, Ted, we'll head over to the Watson Conference and we'll start with the first place, Western Port Steelers. With an 8-2 record, they'll be stoked with how they've started the year. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, and it's young Alamo, that sounds like I pronounced that wrong. I butchered that. And Simpson, they've been phenomenal for them. And this Western Port team has so many options offensively, which has put them in this place. And I anticipate they'll be thereabouts as the season progresses.
Yeah, absolutely. Melbourne Uni now sitting with a 7-3 record in 2nd place. Again, a similar team to Surf Coast, having a great start to their first year in the league. 5-1 at home, so they are taking care of their home territory. 4 of their last 5 games have been wins. They brought in quite a number of experienced players, 2 specifically with McNally and Kiefer have played senior competition in Big V in the past.
Yeah, in 3rd place we got Maccabi Warriors. Now, they're the 7-3 record at the moment. Keep in mind, I'm not sure they won a game in 2022. So they are doing a phenomenal job. They did have a 3-game losing streak, but they've broken that, and they've had a. Fibashenko isn't quite getting the same stats as he did in 2022, but I tell you what, he'd be pretty happy because they're winning.
Yeah.
So his stats have dropped, his teammates have strengthened, and they're winning games, so he'd be stoked.
Absolutely. Mornington now sitting in 4th place with a 5-3 record, struggling to find some consistency. And they've only played 2 games at home at the moment, and they have won both. So expect them to play at home a little bit more as this season progresses. Heavy loss to Melbourne Uni over the weekend. They did struggle quite extensively. Matt Wolf averaging the 19 points per game to go with his very nice 8 rebounds.
Yeah, then we got 5th place Pakenham, 6-4 record. They've turned their season around. It was looking pretty grim early days there, but they're now on a 5-game winning streak. It's interesting. Michael Johns, MVP last year of the league, he's come in and out of the team. He seems to just be shoring up and a bit of support as he focuses on his senior basketball, because he just kept on coming off the bench for that as well. So he's more of a support for Pakenham as they turn their season around.
Yeah, I think so. Chelsea now sitting in 6th place with a 3-8 record. 2 of their last 3 wins, so they are finding some form as we get into the thick of the season. 7 of their games have been on the road, going 2-5. So they might need to sort of discuss something there as to how they play on the road, where they can get off to a quick start and hold that momentum. Now, something quite interesting here, their main scorers have played in less than half of their games. They played the 11 and they played in half of them. So curious to see if they can play in more games, they might string some more wins together.
Yeah, man. 7th place, we got Warrandyte with that looks like a typo. It's a 2-7 record. We've written down 7-2. I'm sure Warren will be thrilled with that. But no, a 2-7 record, and they're currently on a 3-game losing streak. I'm assuming they would have been expecting to have a bit more success in Youth League 2 after they got relegated from Youth League 1 last year. Interesting enough, they're 0-4 at home. They do not like playing down at the sports complex. It must be too cold down there. But they're building something. I think all of a sudden they can get these pieces working together. Get Noah Mullen playing a few more games. They'll certainly turn their season around.
Absolutely. And then lucky last, we have Southern Peninsula sitting in 8th. They are 0-12 to start this season, so not quite what they were hoping for. 8 games have been at home thus far. 3 players have only played every single game this year, so they are sort of inconsistent with their rotations. A lot of guys coming in and out. So if they do have some more consistency there, players playing every single week, they might get that win on the board early. Now, that'll be all for us, guys. Have a good week. We'll speak to you soon.